Hi y'all, Katsumi here. Welcome to my LEGO library, and welcome to my review of the LEGO Star Wars 75312 Boba Fett's Starship. It has 593 pieces, ages 9 plus. I really wanted my first version of the Slave one to be the UCS Slave one, but it being retired and it only going up in value, especially with the popularity thanks to Book of Boba Fett, I became a little more realistic, and also I needed another set for my May the 4th Star Wars Day promotion, so I got this one, and this is going to satisfy me until I can afford and find a UCS version. Additionally, it comes with Boba Fett and the Mandalorian, and it refers to the Mandalorian Season 2, which is a kind of a different vibe to have the ship be referenced to. The actual size reference is Boba Fett. In French, it's L'évasion de Boba Fett, and in Spanish, it's Nave Espacial de Boba Fett. The boring side of the box, the fun side of the box with a different angle. Actually, is that the same picture? They just put it on the side? Yeah. Let's get it built. Here is the sticker sheet and the extra pieces. It came with an orange brick separator. Additionally, these seem to always come in 4 and 4 no matter how many are used in the set. And I'm happy to report that it seems all instruction manuals will now have this new spine that actually stays open when you open them. And here it is built, and yay! I have a Slave one in my collection, I can officially say that. And I'll be honest, I do want it to be the UCS version. As I was building it, I was kind of like, okay, it's not that huge and ginormous. But it's cute. Let's go through it, shall we? How about we talk about the small details first, like how this pop of orange is doing everything for me in terms of breaking up the color and giving something interesting to look at. It's like, you almost wouldn't think to look in there, in that crack under the dark green, but that orange is kind of calling your eye and being like, oh, why don't you take a look and appreciate these advanced mechanics that it takes to, construct a ship like this. Let's take a look at just the ship. As you can see here in my hand, it's just, it's very much play scale vibes and even smaller than some of the past play scale sets we had. So overall, the size is not going to be the strong suit of this set. Let me just say that at the outset. Okay, but it's still giving Slave one. It's still really cute. I've decided it temporarily does satiate my desire for the UCS version. I guess let's start at the top. These stickers, I really don't understand them. I don't understand, like, why couldn't it have been red? I mean, again, this is probably one of those movie accurate things that personally I could have overlooked. I feel like if they just make this red, I don't care about accuracy that much. Because then we have these janky stickers that I didn't do the best work on. I could have united them and maybe aligned them with this edge to match the gray. Anyways, now it just looks like 2 rectangles. Some stickers that did put in that work were these side stickers on these slope pieces that they kind of just do added more realistic detail, and this is not just plastic but an actual ship that's been flying and fighting. But as you can see, all this back red section, what do you call that? The angel wings? No, the spine. Wait, is there a name? I love that the Slave one is so unique that I really don't even know what to call this back red part. Like, what do you call it? The shell of a turtle or something? Like, when you're trying to make a biological metaphor, sometimes we refer to real life animals and stuff, but this is just like sexy. This is just incredible design. Anyways, this back red turtle shell is well designed, very thick, sturdy, and that's something that is present in the overall set. It's all very sturdy. There was a Technic pin flying like at this angle that I was like, what is that gonna do? Oh, it makes the angle for this green, see, now what do I call this? It's not the spine, this part, the front part. This green front part, it's how it gets its angle. There's Technic mechanisms under at the core that I was extremely impressed with how it all came together, even including how it integrated with these side winglets and just the overall structure. Speaking of, let's go ahead and take a look at the back, where there is a handle. Love that. Now when you're holding it, I feel like it could have been a little bit angled slightly better somehow, because I feel like it's angled too downwards now. But the fact that there's even a handle at all, if you kind of like use your thumb to grip the top, then you can kind of just get any angle you want. And it's extremely swooshable, it's extremely sturdy. That Technic is putting in that work at the core. You can kind of see a little bit of that here. Don't worry about this overall structural integrity of the thing. And then the back has overall nice shaping. I didn't realize on like the ship itself how nice these curve ends are. that kind of just slightly suggest that there's something's gonna pop out here, the little side winglets, and it just looks so nice, especially how they use these pieces. Plenty of engine detail, nice touches of sand green to bring in that sand green design motif to the back, greeveling at the very bottom even, and you know, even this being tiled off with rounded inverted tiles is nice. Oh, and then these pieces, these hinge pieces without their accompanying hinge mechanisms, just kind of adding detail there. Nice touch. Some thought and love was clearly put into the design at the back. Come back around to the front. Let's talk about these side winglets. They don't turn as much as I would like them to. I think they could have been slightly more weighted, and you don't want to make them too bulky and thick, but I just kind of wish somehow that they were a little bit more responsive. Maybe I just had to break it in a little bit. Maybe just had to give it some time to breathe. I love the tan motif here and how they continue the tan even on this Technic axle. Now that is how you choose colors for Technic pins and axles. Back to that orange. Attention and care was definitely put into this part. You can kind of zoom in and it just looks like the Slave 1 would. Even with this piece right there, boop, like what? That's very hidden, yet doing everything it needs to where it is. The dark green and gray mixing, I like how these are asymmetrical just to add to that rugged, the ship has been very much used and loved aesthetic. The cockpit does have some gaps here and here. You just kind of have to overlook them. And you know what? They do make it easily accessible to open the cockpit. Nice choice of hinge mechanism for this. I like the control panels like on the roof, because technically he would be sitting on these studs here, and then the control panel would be like on the roof, which just looks very abstract and kind of suggests the idea of that this cockpit does rotate to accommodate the orientation of the entire ship. Not too much going on here, a little bit of that sand green motif, and let me show you how Boba Fett himself can fit in there. If his little feet go here, he can easily kind of just fit in there. All that backspace is left for his jetpack, and this comes down just fine. And there he is sitting. Looking at the main column of the ship, these stickers, I didn't do that good, but they are color matched with these pieces, so they do actually add to the design and just add a little bit of visual interest where otherwise Lego parts would fail to create enough texture. The stud shooters on the side, I'm personally not the biggest fan. That's something I may go back and take out, but they do add that play value and they are placed appropriately for play value. Love the different uses of sand green, all the different pieces, slopes, even the difference between this hard angle light gray slope and then this smooth sand green slope. Just again adding visual interest and texture. The turrets are really nice, are really well designed, using black lightsaber hilts and some of those newer turret pieces, and then a small turtle piece. They're adjustable, of course, pretty sturdy as well. Coming around to the cargo bay, again more of those awesome dark red slopes. You can see a little bit of that texture coming through, really adding to the overall multiple visual angles of the ship. Even this tan on our left, part of the reason why I'm obsessed with the Slave 1 are the colors. So then at the bottom here, there's just a small hinge piece that kind of tucks into the above position when you want to tuck in your cargo. Here's our Gamorrean Garden Carbonite with a small grill piece on top, just your standard sticker on one of these wall building elements. And he slides right in there easily, and then this top can just hinge back down to close him in place. And then you're ready to fly off with your bounty. Speaking of bounty, here's our first bounty hunter of 2 in the set, Boba Fett. He's looking incredible with his Book of Boba Fett all black aesthetic. It really just helps the yellow and dark green pop off. Even the brown is popping off more than it would, of course. He still has sand green helmet and jetpack, which, you know, if you know, you know, it should be dark green like this chest plate here. If we remove Boba Fett's helmet, we can see that he has his very aged, very scarred, you know, he's been out in the desert for a long time, including scars on the back, but no alternate face. This looks very similar. Let me actually compare it right now real quick. I couldn't help but notice that they are actually identical. This is from Boba Fett's palace, and this is from this Boba Fett Starship. And they happen to be identical, even with the same weapon. So there's that. So if you're a mythic hunter, you don't have to get both of these sets. But yeah, just as good as that one and just very good. Besides the Legoification of the colors of his helmet and his jetpack. The second bounty hunter we get is the Mandalorian again. He's looking great with his shiny Beskar armor, great printing, great amount of detail on the printing, even small details like his little pouches and stuff. even arm printing with a little mud horn on his armor. He has his spear and a small pistol and a tiny gray cape, which is kind of not soft but not necessarily hard. It looks like it's a new in between both the extremely soft and the extremely stiff materials that LEGO has been using for capes. And this is the Mandalorian, not Din Djarin, because he is faceless, so they decided to put a black face under there. King. Lastly, this little cart that also serves as a stand is built very simply with a few plates, some inverted tiles on the bottom to create a hovering effect, two little antenna for controlling, and then simple color palette and pretty consistent color palette, which I appreciate. Even the use of these cute little 1x1 house roof slope pieces. So to use it as a stand, you take your ship, and this sand green tile is actually a very bright and specific indicator. After you rest the bottom tip with those little gray slope, the ladder is wedged in between the sand green tile and the rest of the ship, and you have a very easy to use and effective stand for displaying your Boba Fett starship. Overall, this set receives 4 stars from me for being an extremely faithful representation of the Slave One. A Slave One from a different vibe, from a newer vibe with the Book of Boba Fett and the Mandalorian. And while it does not satiate my UCS desire, it will hold a place in my collection very, very respectably. And it was fun to build. Yep. Speaking of fun to build, stats for nerds. Since it took me an hour and 11 minutes to build this 593 piece set, it took me 7.2 seconds per piece. Slave One for the win, Boba Fett for the win. Here's to one of the best fantasy spaceship designs in human history. I said it. Thank you so much for coming to the library. Do you have this set? Do you agree with my opinions and comments that I made in this review video? Which of the 2 minifigures do you prefer? Do you mind the Legoification of Boba Fett's colors on his helmet and jetpack? And anything else you want to leave in the comments below? See you there. May the Force be with you.